Welcome all to the series One Guru, One Technique, Series 6, Importance of Focused Sadhana Practices. Now introducing Priya Menonji, International Art of Living Faculty, to the show.
Thank you, Ajit. Good to have you. Good to have Ajit Anand on the show. He's from Port Blair. He works at the Directorate. So we'll get to know more about Ajit also in this show, right? So let's start with Guru Mantra chanting, right? So keep your eyes closed. Jnanamulam Gururmurtihi Pujamulam Gururpadam Mantramulam Gururvakyam Mokshamulam Gururkripa Akandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo. Jai Gurudev. Yes, Ajit. Before beginning the show, I would like Ajit to introduce yourself a little bit.
I am working in Industries Department in Andaman Nicobar Administration. I am brought up from here only in Andaman Nicobar Island. Though I am basically from Kerala, Trivandrum district. My parents came here and so we are here. So I am started my journey with the art of living during 1998. When I went to Kerala, my cousin introduced to this basic course. Now it is known as Happiness Program. So I started there during May 98 during the vacation period. Then I continued with first, it was very difficult to sit in Vajrasan and it was a challenge for me. So I take nearly 1 year to comfortably sit on this Vajrasan. So I regularly practice this. From there, I continue practicing this Sudarshan Kriya. Why the daily practice is so important?
Why the daily practice is so important? You have already answered this question, isn't it not, Ajit?
Yeah.
You did your first course in 1998, right?
98, yeah.
So you're senior to me, in fact. Right. So all these years, by doing the practice, what difference did you find, Ajit?
So first of all, physically I become fit. I can do the yoga asanas very comfortably. Then that is the physical wise. Then after that, when I used the continue to do the Sudarshan Kriya, Sudarshan means I will say the outlook and Kriya means purification. It's purified the entire body, mind, cleans the body and mind and takes your mind off the regrets from your past and the worries about your future and be completely present at the moment. That is the secret of this Sudarshan Kriya. To live in the moment. That become very easily after continuing this Kriya years together. And there is a confidence level, improvement in confidence level. Then you can improve the efficiency also. In the workspace, you can handle the people. Because my sphere of work was to motivate the people to get into the to be employed or as a self-employed. Because in Andaman, being the government was earlier a major employer, people are looking for government employment. So our job was very challenging. I started my service during 1986 in this department. From there, my vision was to give advice to unemployed youth to become entrepreneurs. During these 35 years, lot of people has become employed. They are earning better and they earn good livelihood and have set up their enterprises. So the first thing was to motivate them. To motivate them, to give a confidence level, first I have to convince with me so that I can motivate them.
Correct.
They can apply it. So to tie up with the banks, getting financial assistance, getting training, skill development in the various sector where they are lacking, EDP, entrepreneurs development training, organizing for this unemployed youth. So this Sudarshan Kriya helped me in the improving my skill also. That's right.
So you have answered the question. By practicing this Kriya, this is a general question because you need immense dedication. Because initially, in the initial time, it is not after some time Kriya becomes a part of our life. But initially, you need immense discipline and dedication to practice this Kriya every day. Gurudev always says one thing, it's discipline brings freedom. We have a feeling, when we were small, especially when we are teenagers, we love to sleep till 10, 11. Even I have slept. After exams, oh, it's such a freedom, but that's not real freedom. After that, our energy goes down so low, isn't it not, Ajit? So those are the periods wherein we have to push ourselves. But that pushing brings us a lot of clarity in our life in the later ages. Certain disciplines, when we are small, brings fruit at a very later age. So spiritual practice at a very young age. Because if you see, my son has started his practice when he was 8 years old. And a lot of children, I take courses for children. So 8 years old, when I see them meditating, it is such a joy because getting a spiritual technique at such a young age is a pleasure. And yes, at that moment of time, they are more into playing. So that is where the role of parents comes. The role of parents and the role of teachers like me, when both of us combine together and make the child realize that, yes, this is a part of your life. And, we keep how easily we tell them to study ABCD, Apple, all that. We put so much of pressure on the children to write a isn't it not? It is the same here also. A little bit at the age of 8 years, you will see how the child doesn't give up that practice even after they grow up. Then their teens it will be a very smooth transition from the childhood to the teens to the adulthood. They will not have any imbalance or nothing will be there. It's just that, we are putting different fashionable names, saying that teen tantrums and all that. There's nothing called teen tantrums or youth tantrums. I would say they are much more clearer than any of us when we were small. They know what to do. Only thing is what we have to give them is a spiritual value because the present generation lacks confidence in the sense like they get easily carried away. So this is where we as parents and teachers have an important role to make them practice the technique every day. So like you have been practicing from 1998, I've been practicing for the last 18 years. So the difference that we make, we ourselves know. It is more internal. So then what we are giving them is, we are giving them a life which is more of confidence and challenges and exciting than a life which is filled with material world. We give them all the gadgets in the world. We give them so much of more than what they want in the material world. Ultimately, what as parents and teachers we are doing is we are giving a boring life to them. Even now, if you see the schools, more of the assignments is done by the teachers than the students. Because I am interacting directly with the principals and all that. So they tell me, so it is such a sad state that everything is there in the Google. It's nothing wrong. See, technology is very, very important. if used in the right way. But books cannot replace a technology. Writing cannot replace a typing. Because when you write, there is something that's happening in our body. When you read, there is something that's happening within you. That cannot be replaced. But yes, technology has to be used in the right way because this is a platform wherein we can reach out to a large crowd. The same way, this sadhana, when done every day, you will see that, the entire body changes. The internal system changes in such a way that we give the children the courage to move forward. And when they grow up as adults, then, the failure of life will not touch them. Because the earth as such, if you see, when you are born in this earth, you have to face ups and downs in life. That's why Gurudev has given the 5 golden sutras very beautifully. And in that, opposite values are complementary to each other is the truth. We have to acknowledge the truth. We have to face the ups and downs in life. And what we can give them is a treasure of spiritual value, wherein you give them the thread and tell them to hold it tight. And then you see the children's transition will be a superb transition.
Good.
Yes, Ajit. Have I answered?
We have many techniques from different masters. Why do we on the practice of one technique?
We have different techniques from different masters. Why should you practice one technique from one master? See, let me tell you something. Practicing this itself is a challenge. How many of millions of people have done this course? How many of them are sitting and practicing one technique? You tell me. If you practice it, you know the depth. See, I have never gone to any other techniques because I don't know, somewhere down the line, I found the first technique that I did was Sudarshana Kriya. And from then onwards, whatever techniques have been practiced in Art of Living, I do it. I've never tried any other meditation or technique. So I will not be able to comment on any other techniques. But yes, in a family, if you have 3-4 people, and if each person is following different techniques or different school of thought, then we need not force each other to do this. But we can do one technique at one time. What happens when you practice one technique? It is as simple as learning to write. How long does we take time to write a sentence? At least from LKG to UKG, right? So this much time we have to give for the practice. Yes, for 5-6 years, if you practice continuously, and then you feel this technique fails, then yes, you can come and tell me this technique fails and I want to switch over. Then there is a reason for the teacher also to, look into it. We don't give time for ourselves. We don't have patience. These spiritual techniques needs immense patience. You have to practice it. Discipline. In Yoga Sutras, they very beautifully say, morning, put yourself into it. Get up or to begin with any time of the day, give it your time. Ensure that in a day you complete the Kriya. And after around 3-4 years, give it a time span. Now, because each individual's growth is different. As I keep telling children every time, see, we are born with a thumb impression. So each of us are unique in our practice. Each of us are unique in our birth. So the practice at each person's growth in spirituality is also different. You cannot compare two people's growth and say he has grown. There's no comparison here at all. So have lots of patience. Self-analyze yourself. Like how is this practice making me? When you start self-analyzing ourselves, when I start self-analyzing myself, believe me, I find a tremendous change in myself. Today, my family is looking at telling me, you are speaking in the social media. I am a very, very shy child. You will not believe it when I say now, because I'm addressing a lot of events and a lot of meetings. People don't believe when I say that, but you should speak to my parents. My mother will tell you, oh, I'm an extremely shy child. So from there, even now, my shyness is not gone. But yes, I've become confident. So your natural quality will not leave you. But yes, the inner natural confidence will come in. And when you have the inner confidence, then nothing outside can shake us. So that is where the entire sequence, the entire world can throw on you. Still, you will stand up tall for the level of honesty that you're in. And that comes only and only with spiritual practice every day. And that comes with practicing of one technique. In the sense, like one technique, what I mean is not just Sudarshana Kriya. From one school of thought, there are a few courses that's been designed. So whichever school of thought you are in, those courses that I've designed, you can go forward for it, because the guru knows exactly your growth. He knows where you are in, and that is where, he's pushing you without even our knowledge. I keep telling everyone, Gurudev is one person who works on us 24/7. We think only he's pushing us for courses. No, he is continuously in work in the subtle level, in the dimensional level. If we have a doubt, he comes in the wisdom form, technique form, and in a friend form, in a teacher's form. Isn't it not? So I would say follow one school of thought and the techniques that's been taught in that school of thought for some time. After some time, if you feel you are not satisfied, then yes, you can come back and talk to the teachers and we can help you out, or you can do anything else. But I at least give it minimum time of 3-4 years, I would say, especially for children. In fact, children are much more faster. There I've seen them tremendous change. 8 years to 9 years, you can see a drastic change. I've seen, provided parents are there to guide them and push through them to some extent. Pushing in the sense like don't force them also, because sometimes when you force, the children completely don't like it. The sense like just be with them, and every now and then make them aware that these techniques will do good to them, and you see how the children will adapt to it very easily. Yes, sir.
Gurudev says, feel grateful for everything in your life. The most grateful we are, the more we receive. Our masters has blessed us with abundance.
Correct.
Right? So my next question will be, I heard there are many tellings different experience on how they get vision. Out of the body experience, I don't have any such experience. How do I know the technique works?
Okay. Each person has their own experience, right? Gurudev says don't get stuck to experience. I'm one teacher. When I did my first Sudarshana Kriya, all my colleagues had a lot of experience to share and I didn't have anything. So I became a teacher now. I had absolutely nothing, but I felt so calm and peaceful. That's all. I didn't know how to express it when they were asking me. I did my course in Chennai. So when the teacher asked me, how is it? I was looking at him blank and said, I don't know, I'm feeling nice. That's all. I have no experience. So people had a lot of experience to share. With my experience, I'll tell you one thing. Yes, experience will come for some people in the beginning. After some time, it's all right. It's all perfect. Experiences are definitely good. But don't get stuck to experience. The biggest change that happens within us is you will see that this technique brings an inner transformation to us. Suddenly, you will find yourself in a place where you are handling a very beautiful, I don't know how to say, a big event which you wouldn't have thought about it. Suddenly, you will be sitting in a position where you will be thinking, oh my God, will I be able to handle this? And you will see that it is getting done through you. So I would say these are the real experiences which empowers a man or a woman to the level in which they or he can handle life. And then after that, evolve ourselves to the highest potential. So Gurudev's, these techniques that's been taught in Art of Living from Utkarsh Yoga, Med Yoga, Happiness Program, all the design, all for corporates, etc., are to empower us from within. That's why Gurudev keeps telling us, don't get stuck to experience. We get experience, of course we get. But getting stuck to experiences, then, we expect experiences. That's also a mind game. Mind is very tricky. You have to be absolutely aware of it. So when we are aware, when we go beyond the experience, and when you start analyzing yourself, at one point of time, even that analyzing will leave you, and things will start falling in place spontaneously. Now, these are all the sequences of the technique which we have experienced. Definitely, many of them will be in align with me when I'm speaking this. First we analyze, and after that, after some time, though we plan for the day, the day gets done by itself. It gets planned by itself, I would say. Then, effortlessness happens. And with effortlessness, I would say spontaneity comes, wherein you will be sitting on a higher designation, handling a higher position, and you may be handling thousands of people along with you, or an important decision to make. You will suddenly realize that you have come out with a very creative and innovative a solution for a problem, for a challenge, and that works, and they have realized it, and you have implemented it. So I would say this is the real progress of a personality. And from there, of course, meditation goes deeper, and that is all individual. I don't want to touch that. Each and every person, yes, sadhana deepens your experience. So here, once again, tell me, Ajit.
Okay. No, on in West side, they used to say, if a student can turn their head heavenward, increases of instead of towards the earth, they can become a real student and find their teacher. And I think we had blessed with our Gurudev in this. Okay.
This is the most valuable birth, I would say. Getting Gurudev. Yeah.
So now, can the Sahaj mantra be initiated by different schools of thought?
This Sahaj teacher should answer. But still, since I'm practicing Sahaj for a long time, as a student, not as a teacher, I can't answer this question because but as a student, I'll tell you, I think mantra initiation should be only from one school of thought. That's what I think. I don't know. I can be wrong also here. This is my thought. So it will be nice if you are initiated only with one mantra, so that the mantra goes deeper, and it does its work. Otherwise, I think the body has its own memory, right? So the body also gets confused. The more clearer you are, the more the body is clearer, I would say. The mind is clear. So the body is clear. What did I say is, when the body's energy flows clear, and that happens with that. That's why we say, practice of one guru, practice of one meditation technique. So the entire hollow and empty Sahaj meditation, or only that you practice, then the body is very clear that this is a technique. So then, it has an impact on the next 6 layers. And then, of course, you can, whatever, we are all in the journey. You can realize your inner self, or your inner, whatever, conscious, whichever name it is. Yeah.
It also said that it's an effective antidote to the mental health problems like anxiety, depression. It also improves your thoughtness, the resilience in dealing with the difficulties. The Kriya and the Sahaj, the process we do in the art of living. So these are the improvements we find it. So now in the next series, I would like to say, how do we cross the obstacles when comes up during the practices?
This you have to cross it yourself. What I give you the answer as if you're going to listen to me. Okay. Still, since I've asked, I'll tell you. Obstacles, you can also give inputs on this topic. Obstacles is what? Procrastination. We don't want to do a technique early in the morning. You say, I'll push it in the afternoon. Then afternoon, somebody comes, you're busy. Then I say, I'll do it in the evening. Then after that evening, something comes, then next day. So this is procrastination. Pushing if you want to do some good things, especially for ourselves, we delay it. Okay. Second is what? Laziness. You feel lethargy. You don't want to do it. You feel, then your mind will give thousands of excuses for not doing it. Right? Then what else? What all did we face? So procrastination, lethargy. Then we give nice explanations for not doing. I've heard immense number of beautiful explanations that they give me and say, oh, Priya ma'am, early in the morning, it's very cold. You don't know how the weather is. It's very freezy. These are loving explanations that we can give throughout our life. I would say these are excuses, not explanations.
The social media also distract a lot of.
Correct. Early in the morning, you sit with a WhatsApp and you can do so many things, but we have no time to do our practices. So all these obstacles, and then sometimes what happens is our own health. Sometimes our own health becomes so much that, there are times when we are not able to do the daily practice. The only thing here is your own commitment to the to the practice. Here, once again, I'll come back to discipline. Yes, there'll be sometimes 3-4 years I've seen people practicing, and suddenly there'll be one stopover. And sometimes what happens, they immediately switch over to some other techniques. They do that, then they come back here and they say, Priya ma'am, that is like this. They give me nice, beautiful explanations. I would say be disciplined in whatever you do. When we are disciplined in what we are doing, then the end result will always be beautiful. Discipline only does bring freedom. Even for a person who has to reach the higher top level, even if you speak to a CEO, general, he tells you his life definitely will have discipline. I don't think he lives a shabby life. It's not possible. Otherwise, he can never reach that, whichever position he is. So in spirituality also, discipline, and give yourself your time. If we can't give time for ourselves, then what is the point in this birth, you tell me? We have time for everything in this world. We have time to talk to people. We have time to sit and watch TV. We have time to sit and see so many things in the social media. But if we have set your timetable in such a way that if you can practice daily, then you have won over yourself. Nothing else is as important as a spiritual practice, because this is a need of the hour. The world is going through a lot of tremendous, I don't know how to say, tremendous ups and downs, that it is so unpredictable that we don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So it is only your spiritual practice that is going to be a weapon to take you forward. So this spiritual practice, it is also a treasure. It is also a weapon for you, because this will empower you. It gives you the spontaneous decision. Ajit, tell me.
You can also say that an ego that keeps justifying and defending your limitations is your biggest enemy.
Ego is bigger, because ego uses the mind in all the ways for us not to do things, isn't it not? So this is where we have to put our foot very strong where it has to be, and move forward with the spiritual practice, because without the spiritual practice from now, it is going to be extremely difficult, because handling uncertainties in life is not an easy thing. We've already seen that during Corona time. So let's give our children the best of spiritual values and ethical values, so that tomorrow is a day that they can handle themselves well. You can give them material wealth, whatever you want, but please give them the confidence to live life, so that at any point of time, even if they fall, even if they break, they should get up and walk forward with courage. And this is, as a parent, we can only give this, right? And we have a wonderful organization which gives so many techniques to you. We have a master who showers us with grace and love. What else do you want? Nothing more. Yes, Ajit, done?
You can say that the higher we climb in the spiritual path, the more slippery the slope. Guru supposed to supports us and helps us to go the pathway.
Correct.
So how do spiritual path is slippery?
Spiritual path is slippery only. That's not others slipping us. It's our own inner, what do you say, habits and patterns that we have formed. That is hell. That's pushing us into slippery, because Gurudev always says, mind is your friend, and it is also your own enemy. So it can form beautiful stories. It is such a beautiful weapon that it can give you a laser beam sharp on what is tomorrow. So that's once again, I'll get back to the practice, that this slippery, yes, as you start moving upward, it is definitely a slippery path, mainly because so many people's opinions you have to hear. So many people you have to defend and move forward. So you should have immense determination and conviction to move forward. Society can say so many things. What is there in this practice? Oh, you have a boring life. What are you doing early in the morning? Come, we'll go for a walk. All this you can hear. But your determination, your strength in moving forward. When you start moving forward, you will see things will start falling in place for you. And though it is a slippery path, you also should understand that there is a master to take you through. It is slippery. So here your faith, your tremendous, it's not just technique, it is grace, faith, and technique. And finally, complete belief that Gurudev is taking care of me and he'll take me through this slippery, and he's already promised us that he is taking us to the destination. And you know, Gurudev is very committed. He'll do it. Okay. So have this intense faith in the master and move through it. One day you will see that you've reached it. When, I don't know, but you will reach. This confidence is there, right? Yeah. Huh?
We can close the this discussion here. Any closing remark from your side, ma'am?
Thank you so much, Ajit, for coming for this show. I know you're very busy. In spite of all your busy schedules, you have joined me for this particular session. Itself is a blessing for this particular show. Thank you so much, and Jai Guru.
Thank you. And I also thank Priya ma'am to explain the various questions put by we discuss in the spiritual path, how we can go, why, how, because this time the situation in the earth is evolving. So we need to discuss a lot about the spiritual path so that we can improve the human habits and this compassionate. We have to improve. So the earth is now evolving, you know, throughout the world. Lot of this nuisance are coming up as in the social world. We cannot think what the people are saying, what the unnecessary talks are going on. So this is very important that we should concentrate on spiritual path and humanity, mainly on the humanity. So thank you, PMM.
Thank you very much. And Jai Gurudev. Thank you.